was replaced by a palpable aura of command, an intensity that made the air around him feel thin. "Put me on a headset," Samuel said. The voice was the same, but the tone was different. It was the voice of a man who was used to giving orders and having them followed without question. Lieutenant Kent looked as if he'd been struck by lightning. "Sir, you can't be serious. He's a janitor. This is a violation of every security protocol we have." Commander Wallace turned to glare on Kent, so cold it seemed to drop the temperature in the hallway. "Lieutenant, you are speaking about a man who wrote half the protocols you're citing. He field-tested them in places you only read about in redacted files. Now shut your mouth and get this man a headset." He turned to Eva Rosales, who was standing by, her tablet clutched in her hands. "Specialist, you will escort Mr. Croft. Give him anything he needs. Your job is now to assist him." Eva nodded, her eyes shining with reverence. She led Samuel into a small adjoining communications booth with a direct audio link to the main room. Kent was left standing in the hallway, his face ashen, the stunned faces of the other personnel burning into him. He had just tried to arrest a living legend. Inside the booth, Samuel slipped on the headset as if he were putting on an old familiar hat. He closed his eyes for a moment, listening. The cacophony of voices from the meeting filled his ears: Farsi, Hausa, Russian, Mandarin, and the frantic, flawed English translations layered over them. For anyone else, it would have been an incomprehensible wall of sound. For Samuel, it was a symphony. He could hear every instrument, every note, every subtle shift in tone and meaning. He pressed the button on his console. His voice, calm and clear, patched directly into the headsets of Commander Wallace and the other American officials in the room. "Commander, this is Croft. Take me off speaker. Patch me through to your earpiece only. The man from Tyran is not the threat. He's being coerced. Listen to his cadence, the slight hesitation on every third and seventh word. It's a duress code used by their old guard intelligence officers. He's signaling that his superiors are in the room with him off camera. He is their puppet. The real message is in the words he is not saying." In the main room, Wallace's eyes widened. He signaled his team, who immediately began a new line of analysis, searching for secondary signals from the Iranian location. Samuel continued, his voice never wavering. "The Nigerian representative is not talking about a navigational device. His phrase guiding star is a local euphemism for his daughter who has been kidnapped. The fire from the sky is his fear that the kidnappers, a regional terrorist group, will sell her to foreign hostiles. He's not making an accusation. He's begging for covert assistance without saying it outright." A wave of understanding washed over the faces of the American delegation. The entire context of the situation had just been flipped on its head. "Finally, the Russian general," Samuel said, a hint of steel entering his tone. He's not quoting a proverb. He's citing the operational name of their new anti-satellite weapon system. Zlep glossed the unblinking eye. "He just told you in the clear that it is fully operational. It's not a threat. It's an announcement." For the next hour, Samuel Croft, the 80-year-old janitor, sat in a small booth and single-handedly dismantled 3 international crises. He was a human Rosetta Stone, a master of the lost art of listening. He didn't just translate words. He translated intent, culture, history, and fear. He guided Commander Wallace on how to respond to each leader, providing the exact phrasing in their own tongues that would de-escalate, reassure, and project strength all at once. He taught them, in real time, how to speak the language of peace, a language far more complex than any single dialect. When it was over, the foreign dignitaries were satisfied. New alliances were being tentatively formed, and 3 potential conflicts had been averted. The screen went dark. In the main conference room, the American official sat in stunned, reverent silence. Commander Wallace got up and walked straight to the small booth. He opened the door. Samuel was taking off the headset, his shoulders slightly stooped again, the aura of command receding, leaving the quiet old man in its place. He looked tired, but his eyes were still clear. "Thank you, Sam," Wallace said, his voice thick with emotion. "You just saved us. After all these years, you're still saving us." "Just happened to be in the right place," Samuel said with a small shrug. Someone had to mop up the mess. They walked back out into the hallway. The crowd of analysts was still there, but now they looked at him with unadulterated awe. Standing stiffly to one side was Lieutenant Kent. His face was pale, his arrogance completely stripped away, leaving only a raw youthful shame. He looked at Samuel, and for the first time he didn't see a janitor. He saw a giant. He took a hesitant step forward and executed the sharpest salute of his life. "Mr. Croft," he said, his voice cracking. "Sir, I have no words. My conduct was inexcusable. I apologize." Samuel looked at the young man, his expression softening. He saw not an arrogant officer, but a boy who had been taught to see the world only through the narrow lens of rank and uniform. He reached out and gently lowered Kent's saluting hand. "The uniform doesn't make the man, son," Samuel said, his voice kind. "It's what you do when you're wearing it that matters, and what you do when you're not. Respect isn't in the rank on your collar. It's in how you treat the people you think don't matter." He gave the lieutenant's shoulder,